Welcome back to Rise to Radiance. All right, today we're tackling something you see in every single garden center. And let's be honest, it can be super confusing. We're talking about those three big numbers on every bag of fertilizer.
Yeah, you've seen them everywhere. 10, 10, 10, 25, 5. It feels like this cryptic code just staring you down from the shelf, right? Like you need a degree in chemistry just to grow a few tomatoes. Well, I'm going to make you a promise. By the end of this explainer, you'll be able to read a fertilizer bag like a chemist and know exactly what your plants are asking for. So let's get into it. So at the heart of this whole code, you've got just three main players: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These are what we call the primary macronutrients. I mean, you can kind of think of them like the proteins, carbs, and fats for your plants. They are the main course, the stuff plants need the most of to grow up big and strong.
All right, let's start with the first one, N, which stands for nitrogen. I call this one the grower. You want that super lush, vibrant green look? You know, like a perfect lawn or a massive head of lettuce? Nitrogen is what you're looking for. It's basically the engine that drives all that leafy, stemmy growth.
So why is it so important for green growth? Well, nitrogen is a core component of chlorophyll. You remember that from science class, right? It's the pigment that makes plants green, and more importantly, it's what lets them do photosynthesis, turning sunlight into energy. So, no nitrogen, no energy. Now, if you're trying to spot a problem, here's the dead giveaway for a nitrogen deficiency. The oldest leaves, the ones at the bottom of the plant, they'll start to turn yellow. And here's the tricky part. Nitrogen is super soluble in water. That means a big downpour can literally wash it right out of the soil, away from your plant's roots, just when it needs it. Okay, on to the second number in our trio, P for phosphorus. I call this one the builder. See, while nitrogen is all about growing up with those green leaves, phosphorus is focused on building out the crucial infrastructure. It's all about energy transfer. It's the powerhouse behind developing strong roots, and this is the big one. It's what triggers the plant to make flowers, fruits, and seeds. So if you've ever had a plant that just refuses to bloom, or your tomatoes won't set fruit, a lack of phosphorus could absolutely be the reason why. And that is the whole secret behind those bloom booster fertilizers you see with that giant middle number. A deficiency isn't always obvious, though. Besides no flowers, you might just see stunted growth overall, or maybe the leaves get this kind of weird, dark bluish green or even purplish color.
And that brings me to this fantastic quote I found on Reddit because it perfectly explains a common trap people fall into. It says, "Bloom boosters are like having a workout routine that includes powerlifting but skips leg day." I mean, how perfect is that? It's so tempting to just pour on the high phosphorus stuff to force some flowers, but you're creating an imbalance. A truly healthy plant, just like us, needs a balanced diet to support everything, not just the flashy parts.
All right, that brings us to the final number of the big three, K for potassium. And my nickname for this one is the protector. Now, potassium isn't about making giant leaves or tons of flowers. Its job is much more internal. It's all about overall health and resilience. Think of it as the silent hero that keeps the whole plant system running smoothly and helps it stand up to a tough environment. It's kind of like the plant's personal trainer and its bodyguard all rolled into one. It helps regulate water movement, which is crucial for handling stress from heat or drought. It actually strengthens the plant's cell walls, making the stems tougher and more resistant to pests and diseases. And get this, it even helps balance out the effects of too much nitrogen so the plant doesn't get all soft and weak. It really is the ultimate health tonic for your plants.
And this isn't just a nice idea. This protective power is real. There was a huge scientific review. We're talking over 1,500 different studies. And it found that having enough potassium reduced the severity of fungal diseases in 70% of cases. That's huge. You can see it right here on the chart. The plants with enough potassium just had a way lower incidence of disease. They're just tough.
Okay, so now we know the team. We've got N, the grower, for leaves, P, the builder, for roots and flowers, and K, the protector, for overall health. Now comes the aha moment. Let's put this all together so you can actually decode the numbers on the bag.
This is the whole secret, right here. Those three numbers, they're just percentages. It's the percentage of that nutrient by weight that's inside the bag. So if you pick up a 10-pound bag of, say, 10-10-10 fertilizer, it doesn't have 10 pounds of nitrogen in it. It has 10% nitrogen. That means you've got 1 pound of N, 1 pound of P, and 1 pound of K. The rest is just filler material to make it easy to spread.
And once you know that, it all clicks into place. You can see why something like a 10-10-10 is called a balanced or all-purpose fertilizer. It's giving an equal dose of everything. It's great for just general, steady feeding. But then you look at a specialized one like a 535. See what it's doing? It's giving very little nitrogen, the grower, but a massive dose of phosphorus, the builder. It's basically designed to tell the plant, hey, stop making leaves and start making flowers and fruit, right now.
This also helps us bust a really common myth. People see a 20-20-20 and think, oh, that must be stronger than a 10-10-10, but not really. It's just more concentrated. Take a look at this table. If your goal is to add 10 pounds of actual nitrogen to your lawn, you could use a 50-pound bag of 20-20-20 or a 100-pound bag of 10-10-10. See? You get the exact same amount of nutrient in the end. You just have to use less of the more concentrated stuff. That's why following the application rates on the bag is so important.
Okay, there's one last really crucial piece to this whole fertilizer puzzle. It's not just about what you're giving your plants, but also how those nutrients are delivered. And this right here is the fundamental difference between synthetic and organic fertilizers. The easiest way to think about it is with this analogy. Synthetic fertilizers are like fast food. The nutrients are in a simple form that's water-soluble, so they're immediately available for the plant to slurp up. It's a quick jolt of energy. But just like fast food, it has its downsides. A much higher risk of burning the plant's roots if you use too much, or having all that goodness just wash away in the rain. On the other hand, organic fertilizers, they're like a slow-cooked meal. The nutrients are locked up inside more complex molecules.
And that's because the organic process is all about biology. When you add an organic fertilizer, like compost or manure, you're not really feeding the plant directly. You're feeding the soil. You're giving a meal to the billions of tiny microbes, the bacteria and fungi that live there. They go to work, they eat that organic matter, and as they digest it, they are the ones who release the nutrients in a form the plant can use. It's a much slower, gentler process that feeds the whole soil ecosystem.
So there you have it. You did it. You can officially walk into any garden store, stare down that wall of bags, and know exactly what you're looking at. You can confidently choose between an all-purpose 10-10-10 or a specialized bloom booster. You've cracked the NPK code. But I have to tell you, this is really just the beginning of the story.
That's right, because even though you're now an expert on the big three, these powerhouses can't do their job without some help. Think of them as the star actors, but every star needs a solid supporting cast. There are other crucial nutrients your plants are craving, and without them, even a perfect NPK ratio isn't enough for your plants to really, truly thrive.
And that is exactly what we are going to get into in the next explainer on Rise to Radiance. We're going to investigate the science behind the unsung heroes of plant health: calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. Trust me, you do not want to miss it. So make sure you're subscribed, and we'll see you then.